Welcome everyone to Commissioner's Court. It is 9 o'clock. Before we get started, we have Brother Brent Williams with us here today to lead us in our invocation. And Commissioner McCann, if you would, the pledges, please.
Let's pray. Father, you've commanded us. You said, do not worry about anything, but in everything, with prayer and with supplication, with thanksgiving, to make our requests known to you, so that the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, would keep our hearts and minds in Christ. And so I pray today over the court that your peace, you said, peace I leave with you. So peace is not a principle, it's a person. It's a relationship with Jesus Christ. So I pray that peace over this court today in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Brother Williams. Well, again, I'd like to welcome everyone to Commissioner's Court. Thank you so much for being with us today. We do have a quorum, so we will call this meeting to order at 9:01. Are there any citizens' comments?
No, sir.
Item number 1, consider and take action on minutes from previously held meeting of Commissioners Court on September the 5th, 2023. Are there any additions, deletions, or comments?
Hearing none, Judge, I move we approve the minutes of the Commissioners Court regular session September 5th, 2023 as presented.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley and seconded by Commissioner Spivey to approve the minutes of September the 5th, 2023 as presented. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Item number 2 is consider and take action to set a public hearing for the updating of guidelines and criteria for granting tax abatement and reinvestment zones. The court, every 2 years, we are required to update our regulations concerning the criteria when we're offering these abatements and the creation of the reinvestment zones. At the end of this month, I believe it's September 26th, we are at the deadline of the current set that we have in place. And we need to get these worked back in if there's any changes that we'd like to make. But we have to set a public hearing for when we present those. And what we're looking at is setting it for 2 weeks. Mr. County Attorney, anything you want to add into this?
Nothing else to add.
Okay. Questions? Hearing none, entertain a motion to set a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to set a public hearing on September the 26th at 9:05 a.m.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Richardson and second by Commissioner McCann to set a public hearing on the updating of guidelines and criteria for granting tax abatement and reinvestment zones for 9:05 on September the 26th. Any further comments? All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Item 3, consider and take action on the interlocal cooperation agreement with Henderson County for juvenile pre- and post-adjudication detention. Court, this is an agreement with Harrison County for the continuation of them being willing to hold juvenile, I guess, detention, detainees is the proper term to use. We've had one in place previously and requires the court's approval. As the president of the juvenile board,
We signed a lot of these. I signed as the president of the juvenile board. The law is pretty clear that the juvenile board enters contracts in its own name and under its own authority, separate and aside from the commissioner's court. Harrison County is the only county that I know of that requires that their commissioner's court approve it. Again, I will tell you that legally, I think it's an unnecessary step. I think the law is clear that we contract in our name, and frankly, we do. We enter contracts all the time that I sign that y'all never see. But If we want to use their services, we play by their rules and submit it to the court.
Questions? This will require the judge's signature.
Do we have anybody in Harrison County at this time?
I don't think we have them in at time, so, and we kind of touched on this at budget a little bit. The situation with our juvenile detention is a dire situation. I could give you a list, Commissioner, of the contracts, but we have them going as far as with Lubbock County. We've signed them with Victoria. That's some of the outlyings and all in between. Bell County, we go as far as Lufkin and that way, San Angelo. There's a list of them, and it's just getting harder and harder to find bed placement for juveniles. And believe it or not, we use the Lubbock contract. And so for what that means is that if you're an officer and you pick up a juvenile who's committed a criminal offense and you want to detain them, when our juvenile probation department starts going through the list, they start checking to see where we have a contract with that has an opening. And of course, they're going to start with the closer ones. They're going to start with Van Zandt County. We use Longview a lot, and those are our closest to and the ones that we prefer to use. But it's gotten to where you can't, and so we'll end up having to go somewhere like Lubbock. Well, those officers then have to transport that juvenile to Lubbock for detention. And on juveniles, within 3 days, that kid has to be brought back for the initial detention, which means someone has to go get him. And that's usually on our juvenile detention. And if our judge continues him in detention, every 14 days, we have to send someone to Lubbock, pick that child up, bring him to court, take him back, and that's the process. But that's the situation we're in. We're also in a situation where I would guess 6-7 years ago, the going rate for a juvenile bed, you guys know what the adult beds cost. The juvenile beds were running about $85 or $90 a night, about twice of what an adult bed would normally cost you. And today we're signing contracts that are $200 a night plus. This one's not quite that much, but the price has just skyrocketed because they can, we need them more than they need us. So.
And we are, currently, it appears we're trending upward once again in our juveniles.
Particularly with violent crimes, the low-level crimes, not so much, but what we are seeing is that people are committing offenses at a much younger age, more serious offenses at a much younger age, and I think that's a statewide trend, which also just complicates, on your lower-level offenses, we aren't taking kids to juvenile. We release them on conditions back to their parents or something like that, but it's the serious offenses where you have to have somewhere to place the child. And we get a lot of situations where, maybe the child has assaulted his parents fairly significantly. We can't return him home. We almost have to take them to detention on certain cases like that.
Questions?
Does the juvenile get charged with any of that money that it's costing us?
No, and the state of Texas did us a complete disservice on this legislative session. Actually, starting in September, we used to collect probation fees from juvenile offenders, and we could recoup our cost of our court-appointed attorneys. And the state, in this past legislative session, just took effect in September. We are no longer allowed to charge any juvenile fees or any fees associated with juvenile detention services or services, period. The only thing we can collect from a juvenile defendant now would be restitution, if restitution is owed. But we can't even collect fines, court costs, attorney's fees, juvenile probation fees. Usually if they were on probation reporting, we would collect a fee, and the legislature has taken all of those fees away from us.
Court, any other questions or comments? Other than, once again, we are footing the bill.
We've looked at it on the juvenile board side, and I don't want to get too far off the topic of contracts, but the notion's been passed that
maybe there's a point in time where, we're doing all this transporting, we're spending a lot of money every night. There is a demand for these that you could contract out with other counties if you had one, or bringing back a juvenile detention center. I don't know that we're there yet. And then we reached out and got prices on doing that, and it was a significant amount of money that it would cost us to have our own juvenile detention facility. And we at one time had one of those, and which y'all may know, that's now the elections office over there, which is why it's set up as a juvenile detention facility. But we closed it down, I don't remember how long ago.
Long time.
Before my time, so it's been at least 15 years since we've had one.
Along with taking all the fees away this year down at the legislature, did they, with all the excess money they had this year, did they allow for any new beds for juveniles?
In this particular instance, their focus on juvenile beds would be at those state facilities, which would be post-adjudication.
But that affects all of our juvenile facilities. So you have beds that I've talked about where we pick a juvenile up who's committed an offense, and we have to take that juvenile to detention while the case is continuing or pending. But then let's say that you actually adjudicate that juvenile, and he gets sentenced to TDCJ ID, or he doesn't go to TDCJ, he goes to the Juvenile Justice Department. What you're referring to is there's a backlog of those. That's not an issue for us because we don't have that many that are actually sentenced to TJJD. But your larger counties, it is. So, they may be backed up 6 or 8 months waiting on bed space for kids who have already been adjudicated and already been sentenced. They're just waiting to go to a state facility. Where that affects us, though, is those juveniles are taking beds that would ordinarily be available for us to place ours that are pre-adjudication.
Anything further? Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion with the judge's signature.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCann, second by Commissioner Richardson, to approve the interlocal cooperation agreement with Henderson County for juvenile pre- and post-adjudicated detention with the judge's authorization to sign. Any further comments? All those in favor? Item passes unanimously. Item number 4 is consider and take action on property tax collection agreements between Henderson County, the City of 7 Points, Eustis ISD, and Henderson County Levy District number 3.
Sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
These the final
3.
Just to bring everybody up to speed, we talk about it a lot this time of year. The tax statement that everyone receives has Henderson County's name on the top of it with all of these entities down through. We always remind everyone the total tax bill is not for Henderson County, but we are required to assist them in the collections, and this is the final 3.
Yes, sir.
All right. Court, questions? Comments? Thank you, legislature. Thank you, legislature. If there's no further discussion, entertain a motion.
I'd like to make the motion with all necessary signatures.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey and seconded by Commissioner Tooley to approve the property tax collection agreements between Henderson County, City of 7 Points, Eustis ISD, and Henderson County Levy District number 3 with all necessary signatures authorized. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Item number 5 is consider and take action on accepting the fiscal year 2022 State Criminal Alien Assistance Program Award, otherwise known as SCAP, for Henderson County in the amount of $25,551. Ms. Brown, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Would you mind explaining this to us?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Court. Our SCAP funding is funding that is for state and local governments with certain types of costs due to incarceration of undocumented criminal aliens during a specific 12-month period. You will notice this is for fiscal year 2022. The application process is long, so the awards tend to come in not really behind schedule, but that's why it does say fiscal year 2022. We did have accepted inmates 51, which helps determine our award of the $25,551.
Court questions?
I see they have started paying a little bit more on this, and we had 46 in 2016 and received $5,600. We have 51 6 years today, and we get 25,000.
Ms. Brown, I'm looking at the difference between fiscal year 21 and 22.
Yes, sir.
There's more inmates in more inmates in 21 than there were in 22, but the funding's nearly doubled in 22. Any explanation for that?
The only explanation that I would have is all these fundings are based off of a calculation, so it's going to determine that normally goes by the size of county and how much money is received and then calculated per inmate. So if there's more money available to allocate, we will never provided exactly how the funding is allocated. So that is just my, I wouldn't say guess, but my opinion based on other fundings.
Court, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the 2022 State Criminal Alien Assistance Program to Henderson County in the amount of $25,551.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson and second by Commissioner McCam to accept the fiscal year 2022 State Criminal Alien Assistance Program Award for Henderson County in the amount of $25,551. All those in favor? Item passes unanimously. Excuse me. Item number 6. Consider and take action to appoint a new member to the Emergency Service District Number 1 Board of Commissioners. This is to fill an unexpired term and effective immediately and expiring on December 31, 2024, located in Precinct 1. Commissioner?
Yes, Court. This gentleman came to me last week and wanted to volunteer for the ESD board, and I spoke with the Trinidad Fire Chief, that's where the ESD 1 is, and Jared Mills, and he confirmed there is an open spot. And he also spoke with Mr. John McKinney, and he said he'd be a good fit. And I've attached his bio. He's from Star Harbor, which is part of ESD 1.
Questions for the Commissioner?
Hearing none, I'd like to make the motion to appoint a new member for Emergency Service District Number 1 Board of Commissioners located in Precinct 1. Mr. John McKinney will be replacing Mr. Rick High, effective immediately and expiring December 31st, 2024.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey, second by Commissioner Tooley, to approve the appointment of a new member to fill an unexpired term on the Emergency Service District Number 1 Board of Commissioners to begin effective immediately, expiring December 31 of 2024. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to move over and come back to later item number 7. There's another item we have to do before we can come to it. So we'll move to item 8, which is consider and take action to assist the Payne Springs Cemetery Association with chip sealing of the cemetery roads located in Precinct 2. Commissioner?
Yes, Court. Sometime the beginning of this year, we went in, or end of last year, and redone the roads inside the cemetery area. And they were not on board to chip seal, and so now they've got on board, and they've had their you can see as the backup had their meetings to approve their minutes, and has a check here presented for $4,500 to do the chip sealing of those roads that we helped them with. This is a historical cemetery also.
Court, questions for the commissioner?
Hearing none, Judge, I move we approve to help the Payne Springs Cemetery with chip sealing of the cemetery roads inside the cemetery boundary.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tootley and seconded by Commissioner Spivey to approve the request to assist the Payne Springs Cemetery Association with chip sealing of cemetery roads inside the boundaries of the cemetery located in Precinct 2. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Item number 9 is consider and take action to accept a check from the Payne Springs Cemetery Association in the amount of $4,500. Commissioner.
Yes, Judge, you can see in your backup, the Cemetery Association has presented a check for $4,500 for the materials to chip seal the roads.
Questions?
Hearing none, Judge, I move we approve to accept a check from the Payne Springs Cemetery Association, in the amount of $4,500.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tootley and seconded by Commissioner Spivey to accept the check from the Payne Springs Cemetery Association in the amount of $4,500. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Item number 10 is receive financial reports, of which we have none at this time. Item number 11 is consider and take action on payroll distributions and accounts cash sheets, of which we have none. Item 12 is consider and take action on submitted contracts, which we have none. But item 13 is consider and take action on requests for right-of-way permits.
Several on precinct 2, precinct 3, and precinct 4.
Commissioner Tootley.
Yes, Judge. The first one is Spectrum Gulf Coast. This is to install aerial fiber optics on Henderson County Road 3924.
Questions for the commissioner? This is up at Zion Hill, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Hearing none, I move we approve the proposed utility line activity for Spectrum Gulf Coast LLC to install aerial fiber optics on Henderson County Road 3924 with the Commissioner's authorization to sign.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tootley and seconded by Commissioner McCann to approve the right-of-way agreement with Spectrum Gulf Coast LLC for the installation of fiber optic cable on County Road 3924 with the Commissioner's authorization to sign. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Item passes unanimously.
The next one is with Charter Spectrum for fiber optic cable on County Road 2857 and County Road 2858. They'll be installing approximately 45 foot of underground fiber optic, including one crossing on 2857 and one on 2858. 13 volts. All work will be via directional board.
Questions for the commissioner?
Hearing none, Judge, I move we approve the utility line activity for Charter Spectrum for fiber optic cable on County Road 2857 and 2858 with the Commissioner's authorization to sign.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Tootley and seconded by Commissioner Richardson to approve the right-of-way agreement with Charter Spectrum for the installation of fiber optic cable and associated infrastructure on County Road 2857 and 2858 with the Commissioner's authorization to sign. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously.
The next one is a bore underneath Mindering Way. As you can tell, on your backup, they're going to be doing a directional bore across the street for probably around, say, 100 feet. of a 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC, and it'll be sleeved.
Questions for the commissioner? Entertain a motion.
Move we approve the proposed line activity for Roberts Construction to install a 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC sleeve on Mendering Way with the Commissioner's authorization to sign.
Y'all sleep?
Motion made by Commissioner Tootley and second by Commissioner Richardson to approve the right-of-way agreement with Roberts Construction for a directional road bore under Meandering Way with the Commissioner's authorization to sign. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Item passes unanimously. Commissioner McCain.
I don't have a charter today, but I do have 3 Communities Water Supply Company. They want to put a 4-inch water main inside a 6-inch casing on Joe Paul Lane at 21301 Joe Paul Lane, 60 link bore, right of way to right of way.
Questions for the commissioner? Entertain a motion.
I'd like to move that we approve the notice of proposed right-of-way utility line activity for 3 Communities Water Supply Company for a 4-inch main inside a 6-inch casing on Joe Paul Lane at 21301 with the commissioner's signature to approve.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Spivey to approve the right-of-way agreement with 3 Community Water Supply Corporation for a 60-foot road bore under Joe Paul Lane with the Commissioner's authorization to sign. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Commissioner Richardson.
Yes, this notice of utility line activities with Charter Spectrum. They're wanting to install aerial fiber optics, about 43,116 foot aerial and 1,342 underground on county roads 4325, 4825, 4833, 4832, 4831, 4331, 4330, 4830, and 4829, and 4828.
Is that all?
And also, there's another one for with Charter Spectrum. This what we're gonna do them together, all together.
Yeah, we just do them all together.
And they're wanting to do a class 1 class 5 30-foot pole equipped with power supply cabinet, entrenched at 20 foot, install a 1 2-inch HPD conduit for a power station. And that's on County Road 4331.
Questions for the commissioner? Mayor Margaret, you got all those roads? Okay. Entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to propose utility line activity for Charter Spectrum to install aerial and underground fiber, 4 vaults within the right-of-way of the county roads, 4325, 4330, 4331, 4828, 4829, 4830, 4831, 4832, and 4833, located in precinct 4. Commissioner's authorization to sign.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, and second by Commissioner Spivey to approve the right-of-way agreement with Charter Spectrum for the aforementioned roads with the Commissioner's authorization to sign. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Item passes unanimously. Item 14 is consider and take action on submitted budget amendments, which we have none. Item 15 is consider and take action on payment of bills. Ms. Carpenter.
Yes, sir. We have fiscal year 2023, the amount of $1,008,718.99.
Commissioner Spivey, questions?
I have no questions, Judge.
Commissioner Tootley?
I have none.
Commissioner McCamp?
I have none.
Commissioner Richardson?
No questions, Judge.
I would like to address that in this particular bill cycle. It's $1 million. Well, a little over 600,000 of that is for the AC and water revamping of the jail, and then we have a pretty sizable payment going to the appraisal district in that. Can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but that's what makes this set of bills so much more hard to vote for. Is there any other comments or discussion? We have a motion?
Not
I'd like
yet.
to make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2023 bills in an amount of $1,008,718.99 as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson and second by Commissioner McCam to approve the bills in the amount of $1,008,718.99 as presented. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 16, consider and take action on submitted plats.
Okay, two plats, one in precinct 2 and one in precinct 4. All fees are paid.
Commissioner Tooley?
Yes, Court, this is just a replat of, I think, Lot 4R. If you can see at the top is the little section that is, kind of looks like a panhandle of Oklahoma, is the portion that they're adding to this lot to take all this area in to the new lot that would be Lot 4-1.
So they're adding .02 acres to the lot? Is that what they're wanting to do?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions for the commissioner?
Hearing none, Judge, I move we approve the final replat of the Pinnacle Club Phase 2, Section F, from Lot 4 to Lot 4-R1 for filing purposes only.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley and second by Commissioner Spivey to approve the final replat in the Pinnacle Club Phase 2, Section F. Excuse me, creating Lot 4-R1 for filing purposes only. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Item passes unanimously. Commissioner Richardson.
Yes, Court, this is a new subdivision that's being created down close to Lake Palestine, the Brewer Edition. They're taking a tract of land and surveying out some 5 lots and leaving the residual. You can see them there that all necessary signatures are there. And water documents and power, historical is all been supplied in the backup.
Questions for the commissioner? Entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion for approval for final plat for the subdivision being part of called 23.192 acre tract in the Miguel Cornelius survey, abstract number 5, creating tract A, tract 1, and tract 2 of block A, and tract 3 and tract 4 of block B of the Brewer Edition for filing purposes only.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson and second by Commissioner McCam to approve what he said for filing purposes only. Mary Margaret, have you got a good description of that?
Yeah, I was
Okay. All right. All those in favor of the motion? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Commissioners. Item 17, open and consider bids, and we have several here. Let's start with the chip spreader.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is the bid response for the fiscal year 2023 10 to 20 foot chip spreader. We only got one response from JFW Equipment. The only comment that I would make on this response is that they clearly state that the equipment that they bidded is as is.
Commissioner?
Yes, Judge, this is the, one of the chip shredders that we have been looking at, and it looks to fit our needs. It's kind of the same one, I believe, that they have in Precinct 3, and we've seen many videos and talked to Etnire people about this particular machine, and we are ready to accept this bid.
This is a new or?
It's a 2011 Etnire, and the hour meter says around 600 to 800 hours, but we know that that's probably not true. But all the functioning things that are on there that we've asked for, this machine fits that criteria.
Questions for the commissioner? Commissioner, if you would include the price in your motion, please.
Judge, I move we accept the bid from JFW Equipment Incorporated for a 2011 Etnire quad expandable chip shredder for $144,300.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tootley and seconded by Commissioner Spivey to approve the 2023 chip spreader bid response in the amount of $144,300. All those in favor? Item passes unanimously.
Thanks, Court.
Thank you.
Now we have the sale of a 2006 CTS belly dump trailer, and we have one response from Athens Truck and Trailer.
Commissioner?
Judge, we would like to decline this bid.
Questions? Entertain a motion.
I move that that we decline the bid of the sale of the 06 CTS belly dump trailer.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tootley, second by Commissioner Richardson to reject the bid for the 2023 sale of the 06 CTS belly dump trailer as presented. All those in favor? Passes unanimously.
Now we have the sale of a 07 CTS belly dump trailer, and again, just one bid from Athens Trailer and Truck.
Commissioner?
Judge, we would like to decline this bid as well.
Okay. Entertain a motion.
I move we decline the bid for the 2007 CTS belly dump trailer as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioners Tootley, second by Commissioner Richardson to reject the fiscal year 2023 sale of the 2007 CTS belly dump trailer as presented. All those in favor? Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thanks, Teddy.
The other item we have is on the, an extension has been requested on the steel bid involving with the Civic Center. Ms. Brown, are you with us?
Yes, sir. So it's been suggested by our architect for the Civic building, which is level 5, that I request an extension of the court for the bids on construction. They did suggest that we extend those for 2 weeks, running in 2 consecutive ads, which would run Saturday the 16th and Saturday the 23rd, allowing bids to be due on October 2nd.
Any questions? Hearing none, entertain a motion to extend the construction bid on the proposed Civic Center expansion.
I'd like to make a motion on extension to October the 2nd.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson and second by Commissioner McCann to approve the extension request for the construction's bid until October 2nd for the proposed expansion to the Civic Center. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Court.
We will move now back up to item 7, which is consider and take action on finance agreement with Etnire for purchase of Etnire chip spreader for precinct 2. Commissioner.
Yes, Court, this is a finance agreement, I believe, with Welch Bank. I sent these documents to the county attorney and didn't hear a response back from him, and he gave me the item to put on the agenda, so we're ready to go.
Okay. Ms. Lee, these running through the financials, any discussion concerning?
I really don't know anything about this arrangement here. I was in part of the process, but it's pretty common.
Okay. Mr. County Attorney.
I looked at the agreement in the packet that was sent, I didn't have any issues with it.
I do.
Pardon?
I have an issue.
Okay.
It says precinct 1 and all of the paperwork instead of precinct 2.
Forgot that. I thought it was on the other one. Yes, they did put precinct 1 on here, and so we'll have to get them to change that.
Trying to pull a sneaky one.
No, it was, I don't know why she did that.
What's
I'm just
the
kidding.
term?
We are 2 years.
2-year
Two
term?
payments.
2 payments. Okay. Any other questions? This is to finance that chip spreader we just
Yes.
approved, didn't we? Okay. Any other further questions or comments? Entertain a motion with proper precinct.
Judge's signature too.
Judge, I move we approve the finance agreement for the Etnire chip spreader for precinct 2 and have the documents changed to read precinct 2 with the county judge's authorization to sign.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner Spivey, to approve the amended finance agreement for precinct 2 for the chip spreader with county judge's authorization to sign. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Leaves us with item number 8. Consider and take action to adjourn. I'm sorry, item 18. Consider and take action to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey, second by, Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner McCam to adjourn at 9:43. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much for being with us today.